For centuries, Europe sent waves of people to the United States. They were chasing opportunity, freedom, and the so-called American dream. But today, something surprising is happening. Americans are packing their bags, crossing the Atlantic, and moving back to the old promised land, Europe. But why? And what does this mean for the future? Is there a reverse migration happening? You see, for over 200 years, the story of migration was about leaving Europe to make it in America. But now, the tables have turned. Today, tens of thousands of Americans are leaving behind their lives in the US and resettling in places like Portugal, Spain, and Italy. I mean, but can you blame them? So what's driving this exodus? To be honest, it's not just about lower living costs. It's about something much deeper. I'll explain after this. But hold on a second. Are enough Americans actually moving to Europe to even really make that noticeable of a difference? Or is this just sensationalized media completely over-exaggerating? No, they would never do that. More on that later. You see, I've been living off and on in Portugal for the past 3 years, and I can definitely confirm that my life has certainly changed. My priorities, daily habits, and the things that are most important to me. Nowadays, I prioritize going to the morning market to get local produce and food that was grown or caught within miles of my house. My life's pace has slowed down dramatically. Things that I used to stress out about, I just don't care about anymore. And I think there's a growing number of Americans that want to leave what I've deemed the toxic extremism, which is the current state of the United States right now. Pick a side, any side. The Pew Research Center reports that more and more people in the United States hold negative views of those in the opposite political party. Since 1994, the number of individuals who feel this way has doubled. And of 2022, record levels of intense dislike have been reached. This growing division has even affected families. And it seems whenever you're out in public in the US, you can hear someone expressing their strong hatred for the other side. Meanwhile, in many parts of Europe, there's a shift away from socialist and centrist views towards right-wing candidates. These candidates are promising stricter immigration policies and stronger economic plans. Will they actually deliver, or are they just telling the common man what they want to hear to get elected? Only time will tell. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Europe offers a quality of life that's hard to ignore. Affordable healthcare, excellent public transportation, and a slower pace of life that many Americans desire. But it's not just about the affordability. It's the culture. Europe values work-life balance in a way that's practically unheard of in the United States. Here, people make time to enjoy life. Meals aren't rushed, and vacations are a priority. It's a whole different mindset. Countries like Portugal are even making it easy with visa programs designed for remote workers and retirees. And Americans are definitely taking note. Recently, there was an increasing trend in Americans Googling moving to Portugal, and I think there's no need to mention why. However, this growing trend is sparking significant criticism among many Europeans. And I think one of the biggest problems is what's called globalization. Globalization is having a massive impact in today's world. It's what brought me to Portugal because, let's face it, I couldn't afford to live a good life in the United States anymore. Now, positively, it means that countries and people around the globe are more connected than ever because of trade, technology advancements, and communication. This interconnection has many benefits, such as helping economies grow, providing access to a wider variety of products and ideas, and driving new technologies. However, globalization also brings some serious challenges. For instance, it can lead to greater inequality, where some people or regions become much wealthier while others struggle. It's also causing cultures to blend together so much that unique traditions are at risk of getting lost. Additionally, there are environmental issues that arise from increased production and consumption across the globe. It's a powerful force that changes how countries and individuals interact with each other, making its impacts complex and far-reaching. When did this whole globalization thing start? But first, a small intermission from our sponsor who made this video possible. Have you ever thought about how much personal information you're putting out there while browsing online? From sketchy pop-ups to sneaky trackers, the internet can feel like a minefield. That's where NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro comes in. It's not just a VPN, it's a complete shield for your online activity. Threat Protection Pro blocks intrusive ads, trackers, and even malware, keeping your devices safe before any danger can reach them. And here's the best part. Threat Protection Pro will alert you if you enter an online store that is most likely a scam. That way you will protect yourself from losing money and losing your banking details. Peace of mind? Check. Fast, secure browsing? Double check. Protect yourself today with NordVPN Threat Protection Pro. Right now you can take advantage of an exciting offer. Get 4 extra months free when you purchase a 2-year plan here at nordvpn.com/DavePortugal. Plus, it's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Take control of your digital life with NordVPN. Now, back to the video. Globalization has deep historical roots, arguably beginning with Portugal's Age of Discovery. This period marks significant maritime exploration, with Portuguese voyages reaching locations from Brazil all the way to Japan. These explorations significantly expanded trade networks, particularly in spices, connecting the west to the east and introducing new agricultural products like chilies to India. The extensive Portuguese maritime expeditions played probably the most crucial role in fostering global interconnectedness, and was really the first time it was on a massive scale like this. While this connectivity has brought many benefits, it also led to challenges. In the present day, ironically, Portugal is grappling with a housing crisis that is displacing local residents from their homes here in Lisbon. This situation exemplifies a more troubling aspect of globalization: the tendency for wealthier nations to exert more purchasing power in less affluent countries, leading to adverse effects for local populations. I think it's really important to open up dialogue about the challenges we face when finding solutions. We need to have open discussions about possible ways to fix them. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this topic below. So what's the resolution? Now hear me out. If you're a European concerned about the influence of Americans taking over your region, I do have some promising news for you. So back to the question I asked earlier about if there are actually enough Americans moving to Europe to make a difference. Well, I did the research and the data may surprise you. Approximately 1 million Americans currently live in Europe, meaning that Americans only make up 0.1% of the entire European population. But what about a small country like Portugal? Well, here in Portugal, there are only 14,000 Americans currently living here, which makes up only 0.1% of the entire population, or 1.4% of the immigrant population. A number that really doesn't even move the needle. I mean, I'm not the best at math, but am I missing something here? There are many things I disagree with that America has done, especially geopolitically. But why are Americans painted as the big villain, solely responsible for all of Europe's gentrification problems? Well, you can thank in part the good old American media for that, where hundreds of articles have been published with sensationalized headlines to get you to click on it. Something like, Americans are moving to Europe in droves and Europeans want them to go home. But the reality and the data tell a completely different story. In fact, there has never been a single year in history where more Americans have moved to Europe than Europeans moving to the United States. And I am willing to bet that in the future, not much of that will change. Most Americans have this idea that America is the best country in the world. It's been ingrained in them at a very young age, so why would they want to leave? Even though having an American passport opens doors for travel, most Americans choose to explore other parts of the US. But the real question is, can and will we ever have the best of both worlds? Can we have a high salary and make a good amount of money, but also a good balance of vacations and quality of life? Let me know in the comments below what you think. With all of this being said, I think it's important to mention that if you are one of the crazy people like me who are interested in moving abroad, I would suggest that you do your very best to approach it with an open mind. Don't try to bring things that you left behind in your country with you. Talk less, listen more, open your mind, and try to learn something new. And please try to leave it better than you found it. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you're interested in moving to Portugal, I just released a complete Moving to Portugal guide on my website, daveinportugal.com. There is a link in the description below. This is some guy named Dave in Portugal, and hopefully we'll see you next time.